Hello again to another Agricolor Reacts, and today we will be watching The Beauty of Old Hollywood in One Scene from Nerd Writer 1. A new channel to me, for sure, and let's just jump into it and see what movie is it, what scene is it.
If you ask me to point to a high watermark in the golden age of Hollywood, a single scene that encapsulates all the elegance that the old studio system was capable of, I might point to this scene in The Philadelphia Story from 1940, one of my favorite and one of the very best romantic comedies ever made. In these 7.5 minutes, in these 17 shots, a group of artists all at the top of their respective games came together to produce magic in black and white.
Champagne's funny stuff. I'm used to whiskey. Whiskey's a slap on the back, and champagne's heavy mystery.
Is that Katharine Hepburn?
The movie tells the story of Tracy Lord, an uptight Philadelphian socialite whose wedding is complicated by the arrival of her ex-husband and a tabloid journalist. Various hijinks ensue that ultimately force Tracy to confront her past and reevaluate her relationships. Just as important as the characters are the actors who played them: Katharine Hepburn, Cary Grant, and Jimmy Stewart, the dreamiest of dream teams. It was a comeback role for Hepburn.
Sorry, I have in my head now, there's a Katharine Hepburn and there's another person that's with that name. And it's obviously, and I'm absolutely ashamed now, but I don't remember the name of that person. From Breakfast in Tiffany. It is Audrey Hepburn. Are they related? I always think about it. Are Katharine Hepburn and Audrey Hepburn? Audrey Hepburn. Burn. And Katharine Hepburn. Oh, I totally misspelled that one. Oh, that's not even Katharine. Jesus. Related. Oh, obviously they would. Oh, I mean, not obviously, but Audrey was an English actress born in Belgium, while Katharine was American. While Katharine's family name was Hepburn, Audrey was actually born Audrey Kathleen Van Hemstra Rooston. Her father later changed the family name to Hepburn Rooston, as double-barreled names were held to be more aristocratic. Huh. Were they in the same time? Burn. What time is it? Okay, let's see. Hepburn, Audrey. May 29. Okay, and Katharine. May 29. I think she's still alive, isn't it? No, 2003. Jesus. 1907, so she was 20 years old, 22 years old. Oh yeah, because Breakfast at Tiffany's was from 60s, so that's a different times and all. So they were kind of like one after another, isn't it? Can you imagine now there, like during that time when there was no internet, obviously, and you're gonna have to go to like a library, actually personally go to different places to find out if Katharine Hepburn and Audrey Hepburn were related? I wonder.
And she architected for herself. At the end of the 1930s, she was dubbed box office poison after a number of flops. So she left Hollywood for Broadway, where Philip Barry, a popular playwright, developed the original stage version of The Philadelphia Story for her. It was a massive hit, running for over 400 shows. Hepburn's on-off boyfriend at the time, the business magnate Howard Hughes, bought and then gifted her the film rights to the play, which she then sold to MGM's Louis B. Mayer at a discount in return for the power to choose the director, screenwriter, and co-stars. Besides being a great play, The Philadelphia Story had a meta-purpose for Hepburn. She knew that audiences felt that she was too haughty, too cold, too smart, too dominant, in other words, not sufficiently feminine by the warped standards of the time. So she crafted a role in which she would be taken down a peg.
Because you'll never be a first-class human being or a first-class woman until you've learned to have some regard for human frailty. But your sense of inner divinity wouldn't allow that. This goddess must and shall remain intact.
You have everything it takes to make a lovely woman except the one essential, an understanding heart. And without that, you might just as well be made of bronze.
I mean, well, I was just talking about it. I never seen that movie, so it's kind of strange. But damn, that's a long ad. Okay. Anyway, so I'll be talking now. It would be nice to actually play it. And so there's always kind of like things about someone sharing the same surname, and then you're thinking, are they related? Are they not related? And often there's people that they don't share the same surname, that they are related. But in the case of Katharine Hepburn and Audrey Hepburn, they were both beautiful women, and they were, I think, very talented actresses. And in case of Katharine Hepburn, like golden time of Hollywood and all that, I kind of find it that I don't know actually were there any plastic surgeries available back then. Probably there were, but I don't think there would be. I don't know actually. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking here now, and I'm gonna be back soon. Okay, the ad finished, and we can go back, because there's nothing better than watching a video about.
She is taken down a peg. In scene after scene after scene, the character of Tracy Lord is criticized for exactly these qualities, to the point that we can't help but sympathize with her, as well as the actress who plays her. It's a shame that Hepburn even had to be humbled in this way, but as an act of public relations, it was masterful, and it worked. Hepburn took control of her career and gave it new life. Which brings me back to this scene. It takes place after these humiliations and scoldings, after Tracy drowns her sorrows with lots of champagne. It's around 4 a.m. on the morning of her wedding, and she's with Mike Connor, the tabloid journalist played by Jimmy Stewart, who's taken a shine to her. They're out on the terrace of Tracy's mansion, and they're both heavily intoxicated. This opening shot is already perfect. Starting with an insert of champagne glasses and a radio, the camera tilts up to the dancing couple, then slowly dollies back, a gentle glide that doesn't call attention to itself. Now that was the MO of director George Cukor and his cinematographer Joseph Ruttenberg. Do what serves the story and the performances. The insert gives you relevant information, and the camera movement accentuates the dreaminess of the moment. You can also see here the great work of art director Cedric Gibbons, who created and defined the lush, glamorous aesthetic of MGM movies in the Golden Age. He won 11 Oscars for his work, and he also designed the Oscar statuette, which is crazy. Here, he creates the outdoors on a soundstage, a stately tree-covered terrace, and the illusion of countryside in the deep background.
Wow. I keep forgetting that a lot of those old movies were actually filmed in the studios, not in the actual park or something like that. So it just I don't know, it's in, like, I just can't find the words. But anyway, this is looking really, really good. Like, I wouldn't think... I thought at first that they were actually somewhere there. But obviously... And I always think the black and white pictures, I think the movies and stuff like that, I wonder, like, now there's technology that you can color the pictures. I wonder if there will be ever... Oh no, there is! I keep forgetting, there actually is the way of to colorize the movies as well. So I wonder if there will be a stage in our lives, that basically in some time all of those old white and black pictures, the movie is gonna be actually colorized. Because I always look at this dress, it's absolutely magnificent. Like, it's so beautiful and it's so shiny. You can see that I like shiny stuff. So I would love what kind of color. Probably it was white, but it didn't have to be. Could have been light pink, could have been light blue. You don't know.
Ruttenberg, who won 4 Oscars himself, takes Gibbons' set and lights it in a way that actually looks and feels like night. Ruttenberg was a master of dramatic lighting. As his New York Times obituary says, he had a knack for making black and white photography seem almost three-dimensional. Part of that is down to his affinity for shallow depth of field, which you can see here. This also serves the story. These two are drunk, absorbed in each other to the exclusion of the outside world, so Ruttenberg isolates them on their own plane of focus. It's also a good opportunity to talk about the work of Adrian Greenberg, known simply as Adrian, a legendary costume designer for MGM whose most famous work was probably on The Wizard of Oz. Adrian designed the perfect dress for Hepburn in this scene. It gives her that look of a statue,
that is a
what all the
beautiful
men in
dress.
her life accuse her of being. But in this two-shot, with the help of Ruttenberg's lighting, the dress glitters and flashes, heightening that sense of intoxication, but also suggesting that there's something more to Tracy than cold, motionless marble. And that's what this scene is really about, Tracy gradually letting her guard down, finally. This is where the writing really comes into play, with Donald Ogden Stewart retaining much of Philip Barry's excellent dialogue from the play.
The prettiest sight in this fine, pretty world is the privileged class enjoying its privileges.
This is a comedy of very witty people, and as Cukor said, their conversations are a kind of art in themselves. But wit, as we know, can be a shield, and the real genius of the writing in this scene is how the witty, drunken banter gradually yields to vulnerability and sincerity.
You can't marry that guy.
George, I'm going to. Why not?
Well, I don't know. I thought I'd be for it at first, but you just don't seem to match up.
Then the fault's with me.
Well, maybe so, but all the same, now you can't do it.
No?
No.
Come around about noon tomorrow. I mean today.
This is when Tracy accuses Mike of being a snob for unfairly judging her fiancé, for a lack of tolerance and generosity. Cukor's camera pulls back to put some distance between them. Then, you'll see in a few seconds, he pushes forward again as Tracy levels at Mike the same criticism her ex-husband leveled at her, realizing at last its validity.
Your intolerance infuriates me. I should think that of all people, a writer would need tolerance. The fact is, you can't be a first-rate writer or a first-rate human being until you've learned to have some small regard for human
The heart of this scene, what everything else is working to support, is, of course, the performances, and they are magnificent. Hepburn, who knows this role inside and out, moves through a dozen registers of emotion with unbelievable finesse. It's actually mesmerizing to watch.
Tracy,
What do you want?
you're wonderful.
It's almost a shame that of the two actors in this scene, it was only Jimmy Stewart who walked away with the Oscar, though he earns it in the climax, the only part, by the way, where Cukor uses close-ups.
The magnificence that comes out of your eyes and your voice and the way you stand there and the way you walk. You're lit from within, Tracy. You've got fires banked down in you. Hearth fires and holocausts.
I don't seem to have made of bronze.
No, you're made out of flesh and blood. That's the blank, unholy surprise of it.
We're used to thinking about movies as the vision of one person, an auteur-director, but the studio system of Hollywood's golden age didn't really work like that. As talented as Cukor was, there's really no auteur here, but rather a collection of top-tier artists and craftsmen coming together to realize a great story and to elevate great performances. This system, which in many ways functioned like a factory, produced a lot of mediocre movies. But when the stars aligned, as they did on the Philadelphia story, they were capable of producing magic too, a kind of magic that is unique to its time, but timeless in its beauty.
It's not far to the pool. It's just over the lawn and in the birch grove. It'll be lovely now.
Tracy, you're tremendous.
Put me in your pocket, Mike.
That's the end of the movie? That's not the end of the movie, is it? Or is it the movie? Oh, okay.
Hey everybody. Happy holidays, and thank you so much for watching. This episode was brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out.
So, I can't really say much about it. I was just kind of thinking, because I do like the old Hollywood movies. I used to watch them a lot when I was a kid, and I obviously haven't watched all of them, as I just seen this one there. I was just wondering what kind of movie this creator gonna put in as the, for generally the beauty of old Hollywood in one scene, just basically what scene from which movie he's gonna use for that. So yeah, and I agree with him. That was perfectly a filmed scene, I think. But I would need to watch a movie to kind of like put it on into context, I think. So thank you very much for watching, and I see you tomorrow. Bye.